Good morning and welcome to another episode of The Hollywood Knitter. My name is Allison and this is my podcast. I'm recording on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023 from my home in Los Angeles, California. It is a beautiful hot summer day. We are in July. Summer has finally started in Southern California. We had cool temperatures pretty much up until the beginning of July, and now we're into the hot. It's been a while since I talked to you. I think my last podcast was in May. So lots to catch you up on, lots to talk about. I hope everyone, here, let me get comfortable. Everyone's having a wonderful summer. I'm having a pretty great summer so far, and lots of good things still to come. And you get me today in all of my summer glory. I have to, because the heat is here, I have to get up and actually go exercise like first thing in the morning, which is not what I usually like to do. Usually I like to do it after work, but where I'm working right now, my construction project is in the San Fernando Valley, if you're familiar with Los Angeles at all. And we are in the afternoon, right now we're in a heat wave, so we're in high 90s. So it's too hot. It's too hot what I usually do, which is go to the park afterwards. It's a little warm. So on the weekends, at least right now, I'm trying to get up first thing and go do some exercise. And then I can have the rest of my day to hide from the heat, or my plan today, which is to chill out, do some puttering around the house and knitting and podcasting, because it's been a while. So first up, let's go with FOs. We will talk, I have 3 FOs, which is not that long, but I got a big one. One is the Bankhead hat. This is the Bankhead hat by Susie Gorley. Oh, I just lost my notes. I'm not really sure where they just went. Yeah, my Evernote is acting out. Let me just pull them up. Anyways, it's a Bankhead hat. It is charity yarn that I got from the D-Stash table at Knockers. I think it is stitches. Where are my notes? It is. I'm going to pause while I get my notes up. Okay. That took longer than it should have. Anyways, this is Stitch Nation Bamboo U. Anyways, just a simple worsted weight charity hat. I'm going to put it in my box, and that was done, I don't know, I think in May. The other thing I finished are the Breakwater socks by Carly Perrins, and this is actually a paid pattern. And I did these with scraps, so this is part of my Make 9 for 2023, which is using my stash yarn, in particular trying to get the oldest stash out. This is Jill Draper Aesopopus. I am all sorts of making fun of words today. In leaf, and I actually knit a t-shirt out of this, and I had a fair amount of leftovers. This gray is from Three Irish Girls Adorn Luxe in, let me not block my face, Bait a Hook, which I got at Zombie and Apocalypse as the goodie bag yarn one year. And then this is a Fiber Nymph mini from my advent calendar. Wow, this might be how this goes. Woo! Anyways, you can see it's kind of a mosaic slip stitch through the foot. And then, yeah. So I'm happy. I used most of the scraps, which was the point. I think they look lovely. I don't know if I'm going to keep them. These might go to my mom. We shall see. Or a charity. Actually, I know I'm not going to keep them for me, but whether they go to charity or my mom is under discussion. So just toe up this stitch. I did a kind of a fish lips type heel, but I don't know. I think I did different heels on each one, but the same kind, just a short row heel. Yeah, the big thing I finished, I'm wearing. It's the Velocore by Andrea Mowry, and I'm going to, and instead of getting up, I actually filmed a little clip of me standing up and modeling it. So I'm going to put that in here. And hopefully I'm back and you are able to see it in all its glory. This has been a long knit. Well, a relatively long knit. So, as I said, it's the Valakor by Andrea Mowry, and I started it in March and I finished it the 4th of July. I literally cast off like right before I left the next day. It is knit on US 2.5, 3 millimeters and US 3.25 millimeters. And the yarn is all stash yarn. So the light brown, which is the main color, is Ula and Leah Mongolian Baby Camel Wool and Natural. And I got this backing a Kickstarter in 2018, and he actually has done the Kickstarter. I think this might have been the first year, and he's done the Kickstarter every year. I actually backed him again. He is an American. I'm not really sure what he does in Mongolia, but he does this every year where he creates this yarn. He goes around and buys from the producers and does different things, and he's kind of been getting better every year, but this was one of the original ones. And so it's camel wool. It's 1,100 yards. I used almost all 3 skeins I have of it. And then the dark is same thing, Ula and Leah Mongolian yak down in dark brown. And I used about 220 yards of that, about half a skein. And then the very muted, you can kind of see, is Plucky, and it was a small batch, and it was a swap in 2019. I think I picked it up at Zombie and Apocalypse, and I used almost a whole skein. It was almost like 400 yards. So as you saw from the clip, I made it a little longer. A lot of Andrea Mowry's patterns are cropped, not really my style. Don't tend to wear a lot of crop sweaters or things to wear with crop sweaters. So I made mine longer. And I did do the recommended ease. I was worried about it, but now I think it's okay. So my bust is a 42, 43, and, around it is like almost a 50. So it's like 6 to 8 inches of bust. And I say that because it depends. Like up here, it's a little tighter with the pattern. And then towards the bottom on my ribbing, it kind of is a little looser. So, but it is a very comfortable, I think it looks good. I'm really happy with it. When I was going through, because it is a lot of slip stitch and you follow up this, this twisted all the way through, it's not hard. It was never hard, but it was always something that I couldn't do as mindless knitting because you had to be paying attention because you were just constantly doing something on the needle. So this was not a mindless knitting where I could be watching TV. I had to kind of always watch it. It was fingering weight. I did make it longer, and it was just a slog. I mean, it really was. I mean, I'm very happy with it. Very happy. I was a little worried before blocking about this neckline because it's literally just kind of like a rib, but I think it looks great. I'm really, really happy with it. And yeah. And so, I'll be able to, probably put this away. Actually, I'll get some pictures. But I'm going to pull it out probably for fall or whatever. I probably could wear it, but we'll see. Anyways, that's the Valakor. I'm so happy. This is part of my, my Make 9 for 2023 as well, because this was all stash yarn, as I said, from various times. And, most of it is out. The Plucky's all gone. I have half a skein of this and then like a quarter skein of the light brown. So pretty happy. And it's very soft. It will be very warm because it's, you know, yak and camel mostly. But yeah. So those are my FOs. This was the one I've been working on and wanting to finish so bad so that I could cast on new projects. Now, not to say that I didn't have some other little projects going on. I did. So I have been working on my knitted knockers. I have 2 downstairs. I have another one. This is another one done. The knitted knockers, if you're not familiar, these are breast prosthetics that you can, for women who have had mastectomies, that they can wear in between or as permanently, but this is all soft cotton that doesn't bother their scar tissue and that kind of damage. So it is a charity for the Northern California Knitting Retreat. I didn't make any this year. I wanted to make some for next year, so I'm starting early. So this is like a Cascade Pima, and then I'm almost done with it. I only had 1 skein of it. I have another one on the needles. I only had one skein of it, so I'm gonna finish that. And then I also picked up at there, someone had put Cascade Ultra Pima on there, so it's a little the finer weight in this. Look, I'm all blending in this, and so I have cast on for those two, and I have a fair amount of this, so I'm just gonna be keeping this. I made this my purse knitting because I have this pattern memorized. Yeah, I have the pattern memorized. It's something I can do pretty mindlessly, very easy to see mistakes and fudge. So if I do miss like an increase here, then I catch it here. You just fudge it, you know what I mean? It doesn't, you're not going to see. And then this just gets stuffed. So yeah, so continuing to make those. I will be continuing that most of the year, I believe, until I get through, because I have that Cascade Ultra Pima, and then I also have I have some Patons Grace as well that I can use. So there's that. I have a hat on the needles, a charity hat. This tends to be something I bring while traveling because it is bigger, and but I haven't really gotten much done on it. So I'm probably gonna have to focus to get it done. Oh look, I'm in the middle of a row. All right, I do that frequently. I don't know if you guys, I know some people are very scared to stop in the middle of the row. I'm not. So I stopped in the middle of the row. But this is just the start of a very basic hat. It's the Man Hat by Haven Ashley. It is a free pattern. It is just a broken rib all the way up. And then this yarn is, again, some yarn I picked up at the D-Stash. And it's Ironstone alpaca wool acrylic blend, 100 yards, super alpaca. So it's like a super bulky. So I have 2 skeins of it to get through a hat. So yeah, I'll get through that before the next one. I'm going to try to, I don't like things that linger too long, and I think I capped this on it almost a month ago. So, and I have this in an awesome bag. It was a gift from a friend. Another thing I cast on was a pair of socks, and I wanted to knit a pair of socks from a skein of yarn that had been lingering. So this was part of my Make 9. I did change the pattern I was going to do. I can't remember what the previous pattern was, but these are the ampersand socks by, I think they're Upside Down Socks by Bobby Craft. This might have been adapted from someone else's pattern. This was originally a top-down pattern, and somebody did the notes to do it toe-up, which is my preferred way of knitting. So I just did it. The yarn is a very lovely, another Crafty Girl sport, and this is a Sweet Ogre colorway. So I picked this up in 2017, so that's why it's time to move it out of my stash. And this is now pretty mindless. It's a very easy pattern repeat, 2-row repeat. I'm just starting to increase for the foot. I think I'm trying to decide what my heel is going to be. And then another sport weight sock. And I haven't decided how long I'm going to make them either. So these will come, I don't know, I have them next to the couch to kind of, when I don't have enough brain power for my next project, I just do a few rows on this. So yeah, so that's the ampersand socks. And I am sticking them in, and I have them, ouch, in my beautiful little summer bag, cactuses. The last project, I think last time I had said I was gonna, I don't even know if I'd said, but basically I had some leftover yarn given to me by a friend, and the yarn is Handspun Hope Ethiopian cotton. She had done a sweater out of it and had given me the leftovers because she knew that, because she did. Anyways, I was going to try to knit, I did. I knit a whole slipper, two slippers, 1 pair. I tried the Simple Garter Stitch slippers by Hannah Levian, whatever. And it took me, I don't know, 2 weeks to knit these slippers, and I did not like how they fit on my foot. I didn't like them at all. I just didn't like them. So I ripped them all out, and now I have like lots of little balls of, I have 2 colors. I have this blue and I have this brown. And what I've done, because this is a great kind of cotton linen, is I have cast on, and this is going to take a long time. This is the Sunday Dinner Dish Towel by Catherine Lee Abrams, and it's a free pattern on Purl Soho, and I haven't gotten very far at all. But it's just going to be a very kind of nubbly, linen stitchy, cotton kind of dish towel. And that's what I'm going to do with these leftovers. So this is kind of started, and because I had it, because I had knit with it, I really didn't want to put it back in the stash. I wanted to get it cast on into a project, but this may take me a long time because it is not priority at all. So my next project is the big one. This is my Rhinebeck sweater, and it is in a brand new bag. I picked up a special order from the Fat Squirrel. I hadn't ordered one of her bags in a while, and I love her bags. And I just fell in love with these mushrooms. I had to have it. And I needed another sweater size bag. And yeah, so I picked this up specifically to start my Rhinebeck sweater. Now, Rhinebeck sweater, knitting with a few friends. We picked out the sweater because we saw the Orbit sweater as a sample. I forget whose booth it was, but it was at Vogue Knitting in New York. So, the Orbit sweater by Rachel Ilsley. It's a beautiful sweater, paid pattern, of course. And it is color work, fingering, and knit from the top down. And this is going to be my version. As you can see, it's still kind of bunched up because I haven't split for the sleeves yet. But how awesome and beautiful is that looking? This is going to be like a Christmas sweater for me. These are like Christmas colors. Which is fine. So the beautiful this beautiful yarn I picked up at Vogue in New York when I was there, specifically for this sweater. And this is the Camellia Fiber Company Sylvan Fingering, 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere in the Winterberry color. This was a special, I think it's like she does different colors like for a quarter or something. I don't know. Anyways, I picked up 3 skeins of this and then paired it with the deep red I had in my stash that I picked up Stitches West a few years ago. Ritual Dyes Maiden. This is just a superwash, 80% superwash, 20% nylon in Scorpio. And I picked it up because I'm a Scorpio and it appealed to me, this deep red. And now the two of them together are working beautifully. So yeah, this is going to be my Rhinebeck sweater. I'm so excited to go work on it. It's going to be wonderfully drapey and soft and light because it's fingering. I'm through the first chart. I'm going to work and hopefully try to get through the second chart. My needles, oops, I did just drop 2 stitches. Let me pick those up. And then I'm going to try it on after that to see the depth of my yoke, if it's good enough. And then if you see the picture, which I didn't print out the entire pattern, the color work carries down from here to there, and then it goes solid. So it goes beyond the yoke. Yeah. So looking forward to that and everyone's version in my Rhinebeck house, who hopefully is doing one. I think most people are. And I'm very excited to be working on it. In general, the color work, I didn't change the needle size. I dry swatched to get the gauge, and then I don't usually go up a needle size for my color work. I was twisting stitches at the top because it was long, and where those twists are, there is a little tug in. I'm gonna have to, hopefully we'll block out, and then I stopped doing it after that because yeah, I did. So we'll see how it goes. Usually color work works pretty okay, but I don't have a ton of experience in color work. So, but very excited. So that's the Orbit sweater by Rachel Ilsley, and that is all of the projects that I have going right now. But I have lots of things to talk about because I've been doing things since I last saw you. I went to the Zombie Apocalypse, and this is the annual knitting retreat. I think we said it was the 10th or 11th one, put on by the Stockinette Zombies. And yeah, so I'm going to show you some of my goodies from that. I have them in an awesome bag. So they put this awesome bag in the goodie bag, which I really loved. And it made it very easy to shop and carry your stuff. And then this is the project bag from Black Pearl Magic. This is one of those, she's a very popular bag maker. She does these kind of plastic bags. Oh, I have a handle in here. Oh, yeah, that's what I got in there. So this was the bag. I always give awesome mugs. And so I got a mug with my goodie bag, and I also won one. So I have two. Oh God, these colors look great on here. So these are always great mugs. I love these mugs. I have one at work. I've given some to my mom. I have some downstairs. So got the two mugs. And let's see what else. I'm going to pull my bag up. I haven't looked in this in a while. I put it actually in my little area for podcasting. And so we'll be excited about the things as I pull them out as well. So we got some great stickers from Fangirl Fibers and some stitch markers and some little other things. I'm trying to pull out. Let's see. This was the yarn in my goodie bag, and this was Kato Yarns, and this is Dawn of the Zombies. I've never had any. I had never heard of this dyer, and they were also in the marketplace and have beautiful yarns. And this is a very not a yarn I would pick up, so I kind of like going to these retreats for that reason of getting kind of yarns that are outside of my color palette. So when I need to do stuff, I'm sorry if you hear Apple, my cat, came in, which that's another story, I guess, since last I chatted with you. And she is playing with a toy, because that's what you do when you're podcasting, I guess. Maybe she'll come over and I'll show you. I'm going to tell you the story of Apple, the cat. Anyways, yarn. So this was the goodie yarn. And then, what else do I have in here? Oh, I got our pictures. I got a gift from a friend in here. Someone was destashing. I don't even remember who it was. My friend Ryan was sitting on, and I saw everyone going over there, and somebody brought a big carpet bag and was like destashing, and they were destashing them for like $10 each, I think it was, or 4 for $30 or something. It was crazy good. And so I picked up these 4 yarns. She had a lot of self-striping, and I'm always missing self-striping. So yeah, these 4 yarns were, $30 or $40. It was crazy. Quarry Fibers, a Desert Vista Dye Works skein, and these are self-striping. And then this is another Quarry, black and gray rainbow, which is beautiful. And then Coloring Book yarn, another beautiful. I picked these up, I think that was like Friday, before we'd even shopped. There was no shopping. So because of that, my shopping, not because of that, but just because. So I did pick up, on Fridays, they have some yarn trucks, because that's a thing. So there are 3 yarn trucks that come up, and they set up in a local parking lot. And I picked up this one, which is Get Knit Face in Colorado, which I've never heard of this dyer. And it just appealed to me. It was just a pretty sock skein, super wash, $75.25. And yeah, so I got it. It appealed to me. Awesome. And then on the day of the market, I was very restrained. There was so many beautiful yarns, but I have more sweater quantities than I usually deal with. But I did get enough for a t-shirt. And this is Yarnaceous Fibers Golly Fingering. And then this is their Superwash Merino wool and 10% linen. And I had seen this kind of wool linen worked up in a t-shirt, and that's what this is going to be. This is going to be some type of t-shirt. And it's beautiful. I love these colors. So yeah, so that's what I picked up at the Zombie and Apocalypse. Just adding in my stash. I did have a t-shirt in mind for that, but I wasn't sure what it was. Now, at the time when we were there, I had an idea, and I might have put it in there. Let's see what she's doing. I want to show you and tell you the story. Oh, sorry, Apple. Apple. Don't put your claws in my sweater. This is Apple. She came to live with us right after Mother's Day. My boyfriend went to a Mother's Day brunch at his aunt's, which is pretty annual for them. Okay. And texted me, I didn't go, texted me, hey, do you want a cat? I'm like, what do you mean? Do we want a cat? We had lost my cat almost 2 years ago now. And I am open for another cat. I love having an animal, and thought I wanted a dog, but he says it's too much work and, you know, we're not home enough, that kind of thing. So when he was there, he was talking to his cousin's daughter, and she was talking about how she needed to find a new home for her cat because she has little kids. I think she has a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And apparently one of them has developed pretty severe allergies to the cat, to the point where they had an emergency visit. So she very sadly was looking for a new home for her cat. And her cat, she had her since she was a kitten. She's 12 years old. Her name is Apple. And yeah, so I was like, well, it's up to you, because I know you really weren't big. You kind of liked us not having a pet for a while. And, you know, his call. And then I didn't hear anything from him for a while. And then I get a text, we got a cat. I was like, okay. So he comes home and he tells me the story. I was like, okay. And then I was like, and then I go to work, not really knowing when the cat was coming. And then he texts me when I'm at work. Later in the day, I was working some overtime, and he's like, I picked her up. And I was like, what? We didn't get a litter box. We didn't get any food. We didn't get any of the stuff. But he's like, well, she came with the litter box. She came with some, you know, some of her stuff. And so, yeah, so she moved in. We kept her in the spare room for the first, almost for the first 2 weeks. She was pretty skittish. She was, staying under as it stands. It took her a while to warm up. Now she is, obviously fine. We've had her almost 2 months now. She goes everywhere. She's very bonded to me. She has a thing, which we got confirmed. She likes to crawl up me specifically and like knead right here. And I guess that's what she used to do to her other mommy, and has apparently done since she was a kitten. It's cute, except she's obsessive about it. It's like she's a stalker, and she just wants to like love on you all the time, which I do love. But sometimes that just means that we have to be very on top of keeping her nails cut, because holy moly, the kneading, and she wants to be like on my neck kneading. And then what I'm trying not to have her do is doing it at night, because she will come up when I'm sleeping and then try to do it. And I was like, oh no. It's not even oh no. I think I roll over and I just like, you know, I kind of go like this. And so she's sort of gotten that is not the best time to be doing that. But she's a very sweet kitty. I was happy we could give her a new home. I like having a cat again. The only thing is I've never had a mostly white cat before. And I don't know if it's her or it's Summer or it's white, but holy moly, white fur. I'm just fighting the battle of white cat hair now everywhere, all the time. So yeah, so that's the new normal. So that's Apple, the new kitty. So going back to Zombie and Apocalypse, one of the other awesome things is my friend Janice, who is the dyer behind Queen City, has amazing yarn. Just go check her out. Brought a bunch of samples and other projects that she was going to get rid of, and like the de-stash, kind of find new homes for knits. And I picked up this beautiful t-shirt that looks great on me. I love picking up knits that work for you, that someone else knit. I think this is my third t-shirt that I got, that somebody else knit. So I love it. I can't remember what the t-shirt is, but it looks great. So yeah, I picked up that, and pretty much everyone in our group like got like almost all of her giveaways that she brought. We went through them before she put them in there, and so I think most of them were taken before that. But the other awesome thing that she's doing is she's debuting a new yarn for her, and it's called Lata, and it is a sport weight non-superwash yarn and lovely colors. And I picked up some samples because I'm going to be knitting a sweater with this. These are the color samples that I picked up. I'm going to be doing the Shocking Stripe sweater is still my plan, and I haven't decided I haven't decided on my colors yet. But I brought she brought little samples for everyone to try out, and you were able to actually buy it there before it releases August 1st, I think. So she also has a great thing where she is doing 3 put-ups. So she does a regular skein, you know, the sport weight skeins, which are what, 300 yards or so. She has like a half skein or like a mini skein. And then she's doing like a yarn baby skein. So it's like, I think equivalent to 4 skeins, but it's all dyed at the same time. So then you wouldn't have to worry about alternating skeins. Anyways, brought these home. I'm going to be doing some swatching with them and figuring out what I want to do for my shocking stripes. I'm leaning to this one, or I like these 2 pinks together. I also like the pink and green together. So I have to decide so that I can order the yarn when it opens in August, and then I'm going to have her probably bring it with her to Rhinebeck because she is one of my Rhinebeck roomies. Because I don't need to do another sweater. I have enough quantities right now to do. But anyways, so that was Stockinette. That was a Zombie Apocalypse, not the Stockinette. What else do I have to show? So I've been doing like a lot of summer stuff. What I've realized for myself is like I don't spontaneously go out, but I like to plan to go out. The boyfriend likes to spontaneously go out, and then we're working a lot, both of us right now, and we just weren't getting out enough. And so I just decided I was going to buy tickets for things months in advance. So we have a new season subscription to Pantages Theater to go see musicals for the 2023-2024 season. And as part of that, one of the earlier ones that was coming for this season that I wanted to see was Tina. So I went ahead and bought tickets for that. So we went on a Thursday, I think, or Wednesday, because these are all during the week that I bought them. And we went and saw Tina the musical. It was awesome. It was so much fun. We are also continuing to go to our soccer games. I attend a few in the summer. That's his season ticket. He goes to every game. I don't. I only go to the weekend games. I don't necessarily like to go during the week. And I like watching soccer, and it's so much fun live. And the LAFC is a great team, and it's a great stadium. But it is not, I did not grow up watching soccer. I enjoy it, but it's not my life. And then the other thing I got for the summer is Hollywood Bowl is this great open air amphitheater that in Los Angeles, up in Hollywood, that does great summer programs. So it's the summer home of the LA Philharmonic, and they do amazing just programs all throughout the summer. And I got us because the partner is a big fan of classical music. And so on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, they do classical music. And so I got us like a season for the Thursday nights. And so that is like 5 concerts, like every 2 weeks we go on a Thursday night. And the great thing about the Hollywood Bowl is it's a picnicking. So you can bring in your own wine, you can bring in your own beer, you bring in your own food, you picnic. It's so much fun. For us, it's also summer easy to get to. We go to a park and ride lot that's over at the LA Zoo, which is only 10 minutes up the street from us, and we park there, and then they take a bus that gets you to the event and then gets you back to the lot, so you don't have to worry about all the parking and the driving, which is crazy over at the Hollywood Bowl. They've really streamlined being able to get these buses in and out of this event, as opposed to if you park there, which I've done in the past. So that we have that happening. We went to the Hollywood Bowl last week. We go again next week. We're talking about maybe even going to another musical. Beetlejuice is in town, and so he's trying to see if his son and his son's girlfriend want us to get tickets to go see that, and that would also be next week, like Tuesday or Wednesday. I also went to Ohio right after the 4th of July. One of my best friends from, we've been best friends since we were 13. Went to high school together, went to college together, lived together in LA early on. She eventually moved around. She's a doctor and has a practice or practices in Ohio. And her husband was having a 50th birthday surprise bash for him. So my boyfriend and I went out and another friend and had a kind of a small thing over there. So that was great. I love seeing her and the kids and, you know, traveling. So again, she did, what did she do? We got axe throwing, which I've never gone axe throwing. She rented out a place for us for that. She rented out a beautiful classic theater in downtown Dayton, Ohio, and saw a movie. We didn't actually stay for the movie because we had little kids, but she got a war movie. It was 1917 and rented that to watch. And so they got to watch, like 6 people and got to watch this movie on this giant screen in this beautiful theater, just them. So it was very cool. And I got a fair amount of knitting, which was nice on the plane there and back, and not so much during. We were just hanging out. I don't see him. I usually try to go see her and her family this time of year. Actually, I usually go right before Zombie Apocalypse, and so this year we went for that. So it was just hanging out because we see each other. We try to see each other twice a year. I try to go see her and the kids, and then we have our girls trip. And our girls trip was supposed to be to Sedona in October, but we changed it to New Orleans while we were there. Yeah, it was just a better choice for our group. We like to go out and be foodie and other things like that. I will love to go to Sedona one day because I love the hiking and the nature, but not everyone in our group does. And so the more metropolitan city kind of experience is a better choice for us. So we are actually going to New Orleans first week of October, which I'm excited because I've never been there. So we're going. One of my other our college roommates actually had she has family there, and she honeymooned there. So she loves it and goes there. So I'm excited. So I've heard wonderful things about it. Lots of my friends like to go, and I've just never had the opportunity. So that's what we're doing for our girls trip. Very exciting. TV. I've been watching various things. I do want to recommend Apple TV. If you haven't seen Silo, which was a science fiction, I really enjoyed it. It's based on a series of books that perhaps I'm going to go see the books. And it's basically a post-apocalyptic world that they don't know what happened. And humanity lives in this silo that goes down 100 floors. And it was like this kind of murder mystery and what's happening. And it looks like there's going to be another season because it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. And I know the books had a lot more. So I recommend it. I really liked it. And then we're currently watching Hijacked with Idris. He's so cool. And it's really well done. It is, yeah, it's Hijacked. Just check it out if you have Apple TV. He's amazing. It's well acted. It's very tense and keeps you in. And now the twists are coming because we're about halfway, I think, through the season. I also watched on Amazon Prime a show called Deadlocked, and it is I think it's an Australian show, and it was just crazy over the top, like lady detectives solving these weird mysteries. It was very funny. It was very comedic. It was very off the wall. It's like I can't even explain it. Like it's great characters, but it's a murder mystery kind of detective show, which I love, but it is very silly-ish to a thing. Anyways, if you're into the kind of thing, check out Deadlock. It was something that was just recommended and randomly started watching because I do like any kind of procedural show from Australia or Canada or anything. Like a lot of what I watch are procedural shows. And so it was very cool. Now the whole season is out and it's called Deadlock, Deadloch. And then, yeah, we're just kind of watching some of the stuff that we watch. Righteous Gemstones is another season on Max. We watched that. It's very funny. And some other things. Books. I've been reading a lot. Since the last podcast in May, I have read 39 books. I am up to 98 for this year. So, a lot of those are fluff because that's what I like to read. I like escapism. You guys know that. I don't go for the heavy hitters or the things that make me think. Some of the authors I'm reading, Dakota Cassidy, she has an Accidentally series, a very silly series that I love. Sean, and I'm saying this wrong, Shannon McGuire. She has an October Day series. It's a science fiction fantasy series. The lead character is Faye. It's half human, half Fae. and it's just the continuing adventures of her. I'm up to the 10th book in the series. I think there's 16. And then I started reading another series that she writes, and I don't know if it's in the same world or it may be in the same world. It's a cryptid series, so it's basically saying all of these mythological creatures really live among us, and there's one group of people that are out to exterminate them, and then there's this family that is out to kind of not. And so that's kind of, and so it's fantasy, science fiction. There's always a little kind of, you know, romancy kind of component to it, and just fun to read. Also reading, I started reading the Kevin Hearn Iron Druid Chronicles. I think I read a short story in one of the anthologies that I read, and I kind of liked the characters, and so I went back, and it turns out he's got like a 10-book Iron Druid series, and it's basically, the premise is all the gods of all the pantheons exist, whether they interact with us or not, and then there's this druid who is thousands of years old, who, you know, lives in Arizona and has a store and all those things, and the various adventures that with supernatural and things that happen with him. I'm on the 3rd book, so very cool. And then I also read Sherry Thomas, her 6 Lady Sherlock books. I also recommend these. These are actually ones I listen to, and it is basically the take if Sherlock Holmes had been a woman, and kind of an interesting woman at that, and kind of the adventures and the different things. It's very well done. So I do recommend all those books. And I'm continuing to read and listen and enjoy. That's kind of what has been going on. Upcoming, I mentioned, or I didn't mention, but I am going to Gen Con, and that is a board game convention primarily in Indianapolis, a pretty big one. And that is something that Boyfriend Express, he is a board game connoisseur. That is his thing. We have easily 100+ board games in our house, of which a lot of times he plays without me. I had no idea you could solo play board games, but you can. Anyways, so that is happening. I'm excited about that. I'm going to get some knitting, carrying, and I like board games, and I like seeing other people who are very passionate about things, even if I'm not as passionate. And it's traveling, and I love traveling. Then my niece is going to come visit me again in August before she goes back. This is my 13-year-old niece, who is 13 these days. She's having a bit of a, I don't know, rebellious streak, so she gets to come and see her aunt because, one, it gives them a break from her a break from them, and yeah. So we're gonna do a lot of hanging out, probably some local stuff. I think she said she wants to go to Universal, so we'll do that. And then I was thinking maybe a night or 2 at the beach. We'll see. Then I go to New Orleans in October, and then I'm going to Rhinebeck with my friends. And then before Rhinebeck, I'm actually flying in to see my family, and we're going to rent a house in New Hampshire for the weekend before Rhinebeck and go, and I'll hang out with them, and then I'll be with them for a few days and then go over to Rhinebeck, where we have a house, and it will be fun. And friends coming up. So exciting. Yeah. And that's what I kind of have going through October. So I think we're all caught up. I think. So I am looking forward to, it's Saturday, I'm going to go and knit. That is my plan today. I do have a few other little house things to do and get all of my yarns. I think most of my yarns are in Ravelry. I do need to update Ravelry. I'm going to take some pictures, that kind of admin-y stuff, and go from there. I hope everyone is having a wonderful summer or winter, if that's where you're in that part of the world. And I hope to see some of you guys at upcoming events and other things. And it was great to see those of you who follow me that I saw at Zombie Apocalypse. I know, I don't have a huge following, and I don't do these to get anything like that. I do these so that my friends, and my friends being anyone I've hung out with or talked to at various social events and knitting things, or those who I haven't yet, but one day might, can kind of just keep up what's happening with Allison. And so you have a little bit of snippet before I see you again in person. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys at Rhinebeck. I don't know what our Rhinebeck plans. I know we're going to Wool and Folk because my friend is vending at that one. And so we will be there most of the day. And then Rhinebeck, I don't know, we'll probably be there for some of Saturday and some of Sunday. I'm actually going to be in Rhinebeck Thursday through Tuesday. I fly back out of Boston on Tuesday. So yeah, it'll be so much fun. Anyways, happy Saturday, guys. That's a wrap from Hollywood, where fantasy meets fiber and dreams are knit. Bye, everybody.